Howdy, everyone. It's Reese, aka Bearman Prime, on this December 30th. Welcome back to my Read the Bible in a Year series. Thanks again for joining me. God bless you all. Card on the top right hand corner for the rest of the playlist, and please hit the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. I sure do appreciate it. So, yesterday we started reading the book of Revelation, the final book of the Bible, the one that contains all of the prophecy about end times, the coming end times, where uh, Jesus Christ will return and establish his kingdom. So we started with chapter 1, which kind of sets up how John writes the book. And it is written because Jesus reveals to him everything that is written in here. Okay. Now, we're going to skip over a whole bunch of content in Revelation, unfortunately. Like I said, there's just way too much to cover in 3 days. We're going to go towards the end of the book. So we're skipping over a lot of material. We're skipping over where Christ talks about the rapture, where he talks about the tribulation, the pouring out of God's wrath, the coming of the Antichrist, the final battle of Armageddon, the establishment of his kingdom on earth, the 1,000-year reign, and then finally the eternal reign of Christ. So we're skipping over all of that. So we're actually going to skip over a bunch of that today, and we're going to go to chapter 21 of Revelation, the next to last chapter. We're going to talk about the New Jerusalem. So whenever Christ comes back, whenever that is, and he establishes his kingdom here on earth, its capital, if you will be in Jerusalem, as you would expect, on Mount Zion, the holy mountain. That is where Christ will sit and reign as King of Kings and Lord of Lords. So let's read about what that's going to look like. Let's go to Revelation chapter 21, verse 1. Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth. The first heaven and the first earth had disappeared. Now there was no sea. And I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God. It was prepared like a bride dressed for her husband. I heard a loud voice from the throne. It said, "Now God's home is with people. He will live with them. They will be his people. God himself will be with them and will be their God. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, sadness, crying, or pain. All the old ways are gone." The one who was sitting on the throne said, "Look, I am making everything new." Then he said, "Write this, because these words are true and can be trusted." The one on the throne said to me, "It is finished. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give free water from the spring of the water of life to anyone who is thirsty. All those who win the victory will receive this, and I will be their God. They will be my children. But those who are cowards, those who refuse to believe, those who do terrible things, those who kill, those who sin sexually, those who do evil magic, those who worship idols, and those who tell lies, they will all have a place in the lake of burning sulfur. This is the second death. One of the 7 angels came to me. This was one of the angels who had the 7 bowls full of the 7 last plagues. The angel said, "Come with me. I will show you the bride, the wife of the Lamb." The angel carried me away by the Spirit to a very large and high mountain. The angel showed me the holy city, Jerusalem. The city was coming down out of heaven from God. The city was shining with the glory of God. It was shining bright like a very expensive jewel, like a jasper. It was clear as crystal. The city had a large, high wall with 12 gates. There were 12 angels at the gates. On each gate was written the name of one of the 12 tribes of Israel. There were 3 gates on the east, 3 gates on the north, 3 gates on the south, and 3 gates on the west. The walls of the city were built on 12 foundation stones. On the stones were written the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. The angel who talked with me had a measuring rod made of gold. The angel had this rod to measure the city, its gates, and its wall. The city was built in a square. Its length was equal to its width. The angel measured the city with the rod. The city was 12,000 stadia long, 12,000 stadia wide, and 12,000 stadia high. The angel also measured the wall. It was 144 cubits high. The angel was using the same measurement that people use. The wall was made of jasper. The city was made of pure gold, as pure as glass. The foundation stones of the city walls had every kind of expensive jewels in them. The first foundation stone was jasper. The second was sapphire. The third was chalcedony. The fourth was emerald. The fifth was onyx. The sixth was carnelian. The seventh was yellow quartz. The eighth was beryl. The ninth was topaz. The 10th was chrysoprase. The 11th was jacinth. And the 12th was amethyst. The 12 gates were 12 pearls. Each gate was made from one pearl. The street of the city was made of pure gold, as clear as glass. I did not see a temple in the city. The Lord God all-powerful and the Lamb were the city's temple. The city did not need the sun or the moon to shine on it. The glory of God gave the city light. The Lamb was the city's lamp. The peoples of the world will walk by the light given by the Lamb. The rulers of the earth will bring their glory into the city. The city's gates will never close on any day because there is no night there. The greatness and the honor of the nations will be brought into the city. Nothing unclean will ever enter the city. No one who does shameful things or tell lies will ever enter the city. Only those whose names are written in the Lamb's book of life will enter the city. All right, that's where we're going to end for today. So, there's a lot going on there, okay? You see why Revelation is kind of a difficult book to study because there's just a lot of information and there's a lot in there that has to be interpreted. This one, though, is pretty straightforward. It's talking about the actual coming down of the new city of Jerusalem when Christ's earthly kingdom is reestablished, okay? Okay, it's a literal city that will come down from heaven and come down to earth. And it's a perfect cube. It's 12,000 stadia long, wide, and high. How long is that? Well, one Greek stadion was about 600 feet. So if you do some quick math, that's 7,200,000 feet long, wide, and high, which is over 1,300 miles in every direction. Okay, that's huge. Then he describes what all of this looks like, what it looks like it's made of. And it's just this beautiful and absolutely pristine and perfect structure. It was shining like a bright jewel, like jasper, clear as crystal. It has 12 gates, so 3 on each side. And on the gates are written the names of the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, so there's a lot of symmetry that goes on with these descriptions and what God has planned. A lot of symmetry. So 12 gates for the 12 tribes of Israel. And the walls are built on 12 foundations, each one made of a different kind of precious jewel or gem or stone. And on these foundations are written the names of the 12 apostles. So Peter, James, John, all of them, they have the foundation of the city. The city itself is made of pure gold, like completely flawless. The wall is made of jasper. You have the 12 foundation stones that are made of all these different kinds of stone: sapphire, onyx, yellow quartz, topaz, amethyst. All these expensive gemstones that these foundations are made of. The gates are made of pearl, okay? And not just like individual pearls, but like each gate is a single perfect pearl, okay? If all of this sounds impossible and just amazing, you're right. It is. Only God can do something like this. And then He goes on to say that in this city, in this new Jerusalem, there is no temple. Okay? Remember previously, Jerusalem had the temple of God. Now there is no temple, or there will be no temple. The Lord God, all powerful, and the Lamb will be the city's temple. Jesus himself is our temple. And there is no sun, there is no moon, because the light of the city, the light of the glory of God gives all the light anyone will ever need. They will walk by the light given by the Lamb. Uh, the rulers will bring their glory into the city. The gates will never close on any day because there's no night. The greatness and honor of the nations will be brought into the city. Okay? And now here's where things kind of take a little bit of a turn. Who gets to go into this city? Well, nothing unclean will ever enter. No one who does shameful things or tell lies will ever enter. Only those whose names are written in the Lamb's book of life will enter the city. Then earlier he says, those who are cowards, those who refuse to believe, those who do terrible things, who kill, sin sexually, do evil magic, worship idols, and tell lies, they are not God's children. They will have no place there. Their place is in the lake of burning sulfur, the second death. It's not a physical death, it is a spiritual death and one of eternal torment. Okay, so quite the contrast there, but that just goes to remember that, or that just goes to show how you cannot afford to not believe, right? Because if you don't believe, that's what awaits you: eternal torment in the lake of fire. But if you do believe, you get to enter God's city, you get to enter God's kingdom. And just listening to this description, doesn't that sound like a wonderful place to be? So, everyone who believes, their names are written in the book of life. So, I'll implore you again, take this opportunity now to accept, believe Jesus Christ. That's all we're going to read for today. We're going to pick it up there tomorrow. Only one more day. Thanks again for joining me. I sure do appreciate it. I'll see y'all tomorrow.